confirms what I was telling you a moment ago. Japan are just 1 point away from regaining the title of World Women's Team Champions. Standing in the way, of course, is Thailand. It's always possible to come back. It's a tall order. But what a responsibility for Nitchaon Jindapon, the 27-year-old from Thailand. She has to beat the reigning world champion to keep this Uber Cup final alive. What a responsibility. What pressure. But Jindapon has been playing well this week. Certainly yesterday when she beat Gao Fangji in 3 games. But Morten, I hate to tell you this, it was 1 hour and 31 minutes. And given what we've just seen in the women's doubles with Putita being on court for 1 hour and 39 minutes in her women's doubles, well, it seemed to take its toll. So here, Nozomi OKUHARA.
And yesterday she won 21-9, 21-15, very comfortably against Lee Yang-mi from Korea. So again, talking about length of time on court.
Yeah, good point. Nitchaon Jindapon. Well, the hopes of a nation resting on her shoulders. I can't help but also think, Morten, as the players make their way onto court, the emotion yesterday from the Thai team in beating the 17 consecutive time finalist China. And they, of course, were the defending champions. Your point about an extra day, to be on such a high, 6:30 in the evening when they won their match, yes. To then rebuild for today, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the start of this Uber Cup tie. It's a tough call, isn't it?
It's very tough. It's not only physical exhausted, but they're also mentally exhausted. And as you say, been on such a high, beating the mighty China, yeah. And then having to completely regroup and get ready here for 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock today. Yeah. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry.
Okuhara has played every match in the Uber Cup campaign, and she's won every match. And she's won every match in 2 straight games. So this is the fifth meeting, I beg your pardon, between the 2 players. And Nozomi OKUHARA didn't only win that last one in the first round of the All England 2 years ago, she's actually won the last 3. And she's won the last 3 in 2 straight games. The last time that Jindapon beat OKUHARA, you have to go back to 2010.
Yeah, that's a fair bit.
That's a fair bit, 8 years ago. So, the psychology again, yes, there's, I'm sure, plenty of perspiration on the court surface. The court attendant being called onto court as we look at the statistics for the reigning world champion. 23 years of age, born in Nagano, which was the host city for the 1998 Winter Olympic Games. Down 3 places last week on the world ranking to number 9, but she has been as high as 3. 4 weeks in total as world number 3. Won the gold medal at the World Championships, beating Pusala Venkata Sindhu. Now, if ever there was an impressive set of results in a Uber Cup campaign, that is it. Because Michelle Lee, I can tell you from Canada, has had a great campaign, and she beat her. Well, it was the toughest match she's had so far, 16 and 17. Wasn't the longest match she's had so far, but that's a very, very impressive set of results. Yeah, her teammates. Well, they're enjoying themselves. But for Nitchaon Jindapon, 27, now born on the beautiful island of Phuket, has been one place higher. That was at the end of last month, a couple of weeks. Now, she won all of her group matches, did Jindapon, and then in the quarterfinal, she lost the second women's singles to the world junior champion, Grigoria Mariska Tunjung. Very close second game, as you can see. And then yesterday, in that hour and 31 minutes, beat Gao Fanji of China. And I think that was the key. I think that was the point that the Thailand team honestly believed this is possible. We can actually win this Uber Cup semi-final tie.
Yeah, yesterday at that second women's singles, that made the whole difference.
Yeah. Well, can she make the difference again today as we look at our court officials? Daniel Law is our service judge, and as we briefly saw, Liu Yun from China is the umpire.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Japan, represented by Okuhara Nozomi. And on my left, Thailand, represented by Nitchaon JINDAPOL. Japan serve.
Well, we'll see the traditional bow from Okuhara in a minute before she serves to all four corners of the court, to all the court officials. There we go. So it is a must-win situation for Nitchaon Jindapon. Oh, that's a lovely, lovely, accurate smash. Two Korean coaches, both formerly from Korea. Park Ji-won, of course. And the head coach, Lee Morton, was saying has made such a difference, and I concur. And they're the Thailand coaches. Park Ji-won, before moving to Japan, had a spell coaching in England and then a spell coaching in Malaysia.
That's correct. I worked together with him in Malaysia in the late 1990s, and it was such a joy to work with him. What a good lift on such a tight net shot there. What a good lift by Okuhara. That length is very outstanding. The cross-court drop shot was very, very tight indeed, but yet Okuhara managed to get it all the way to that back line.
out.
Now, Morton, of course, the pressure situation, that all adds to things. But if you look at the statistics and tournament results of these two players, of course, Okuhara as a reigning world champion. I mean, that's a huge result. But if you look at Super Series tournaments as well, Okuhara's been in 7 finals, winning 4 of them. Her opponent has never been past a semi-final. She's had 2 semi-finals at Super Series.
Yeah, one was Indonesia Open some years ago, I remember.
Yeah, that's a very good memory. 2014 Indonesian Open, and then last year's Indonesian Open.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I still think, I usually say don't be deceived by the world ranking. We have a very fine example here of Okuhara. She's 9 on the world ranking, but she's much better than 9 on the world ranking.
Yes.
It's only because she's been out of play due to injuries, and she is definitely a top 3, top 4 player at any given time.
Yeah. Which, apart from her Super Series finals and titles, we've got to remember she was bronze medalist at the Olympic Games in Rio as well.
Exactly. And after she won the world title in Glasgow last year, she was out of 3 tournaments actually. China Open, Hong Kong Open, and 1 more at the end of the year due to injury. And it just made her way back here into the international circuit. And she has been very unfortunate having that problem on that, I think, right knee it is.
Yeah.
I think she gave a walkover in Japan Open in the semi-final, and then she pulled out of China Open and Hong Kong Open.
Yeah, she gave a walkover to Carolina Marin in that semi-final in Tokyo. But do you think her style of play, I mean, she's so fast around the court, her physicality in the way she plays is absolutely tremendous. I mean, she never gives up on a rally. I mean, most players don't, but I mean, she adds to that the speed. Is that contributing, do you think, to the injury problems? Because I think she's had injury problems on both knees. She's had a shoulder injury problem as well.
I don't know if you can say it's her style of play, because I actually think she moves extremely well on court. She's also got a very nice technique. She plays with brilliant speed. But she also had, I think it was 2013, she was out of play for almost a full year due to her knee injury. So I think it's just something she's got to live with.
Yeah.
She's having this kind of weakness, that she's having that problem on that knee, and it will keep coming back to her.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful shot. Really well executed. First having to run for that forehand corner and then the backhand corner. As I said, this is a very traditional strategy, but it works so well.
Wasn't afraid to give that net shot a little bit of height initially. Okuhara getting it down very tight to the net. Finds the line.
And I know this is a tall order, but that's basically what she's got to do, Jindapon, the whole time. She's got to find the line and raise her game so much. being 11 on the world ranking, high is 10, and she's playing someone who is 9 on the world ranking, but the difference between these two players on a normal circumstance is really great. So she's got to find the line. Yeah, I must say I wouldn't blame Jindapon at all if she went for broke. You know, you just go all out, take all the chances you can and play, because in my book that's the only chance she's got to win this match. If she plays as what she would normally do and keep it going, rally game and all that, she can't win.
No.
I don't think she can win.
No, I agree.
So I think, you know, go for broke, go for all the shots, see what you can do. If it works, be happy. If it doesn't work, you tried your best.
Yeah.
8-5.
See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I know it's maybe the wrong expression, but go for broke. She did really that net shot so nicely, and it was tight. The lift too short, and it's a winner. These kind of things she's got to do the whole time.
Yeah. Overdone it. It's just wide. But that's the sort of thing you're talking about. Go for that.
Yeah, go for it. I think it's totally acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah, good call, line judge. So, a 5-point advantage, and it's a healthy advantage for the world champion here at the mid-game interval of the opening game. Well, she looks pretty relaxed.
Yeah.
World Championship final last year in Glasgow will go down in my memory as one of the all-time great matches. It was absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah, play 1 hour and 40 minutes or so, and 22-20 in the deciding game.
Yeah, it's magnificent, absolutely magnificent. A bit like the Sun Jun Peter Rasmussen final.
Yeah, 97 in Glasgow.
It all happens in Glasgow.
They will be very happy to hear. She's controlling the length of her shots so well. It must have been landing on the line. 13-7 up, and it's a very, very commanding lead to Okuhara from Japan here.
Yeah. Lovely drop shot, did the damage.
Called out. Yeah, that's very unlucky for Jindapon here. Very nice rally, very nicely constructed, but finishing by pushing that one out on that back line. And I think she constructed that rally really well.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, what a net shot. Absolutely superb from Okuhara. Oh, that is just brilliant. Well, I think most players in the world would struggle to retrieve that one, let alone when you played for an hour and 31 minutes the day before, as Jindapon has. Yes, the way she held that shot and then just turned the racket head at the last moment, creating the disguise. 2 points away from this opening game.
And that's showing how good a player you are when you can do shots like that. Most people will tend to go cross court because that's the only action they can do, but she could reverse that one and play straight down the line, and that's really very, very good technique.
I like that clear.
Yep.
Cross court. Forehand, forehand. It's a good rally. That's a fabulous rally. Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Oh, superb! Well, quite clearly the longest rally of the match so far. Wonderful defense initially from Okuhara. But this final cross court from Jindapon was played to perfection. Look at that. Amazing. Yeah. Use the full court there, Okuhara, to get her opponent out of position.
Okuhara, they want to win. Thank you.
So it's game point opportunities.
20, game point, 12.
Opening game to Japan and Nozomi Okuhara. 21-12. Umpire confirming that scoreline. 21 minutes. And Japan just one game away from regaining the Yuba Cup. Well, that's nice from the Thai coaches, giving the encouragement. And this is a tradition with Okuhara. Talks to herself, and then gives a deep bow before entering the court once more.
Second game, level play.
So one game away from ending the 37-year wait for Japan since they last lifted the Yuba Cup trophy. Now, Morten, as this second game gets underway, you know I always like to give you a little quiz question every day.
Yeah, I do know that.
So my quiz question is about siblings, because of course in the Japanese team today, we probably won't see the siblings, which is the Takahashi sisters, Ayaka and Sayaka.
Yeah.
So the question is, have female siblings, oh, that's landed in. There are female siblings who have won the Thomas Cup, the Yuba Cup previously. We know it's happened in the Thomas Cup. In the Thomas Cup, it was the Malaysian Sadek brothers, Rashid.
Oh, yes. Yeah, of course. They have a whole family. And there was 5 in the team.
Yes, but I think in 1992 there was only 3 in the team.
There were actually 4. Rahman was
he in the team as well?
Yes, he was.
So, okay. So, in the Yuba Cup, you can have a little think about it as this game's underway.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Fast forward. She's fast all over the court. I'll give you a clue. It was before our era.
Okay. Then it's a long time ago.
2-1.
Yeah, it's not for lack of trying, is it, from Jindapon? Missed it.
3-1.
I think, you know, when you say it's 37 years ago since Japan won it last time, I think one have to put into the equation here that China only came into the BWF, as it's called today, in 1981.
Yes, so the first Uber Cup competition
They played was 84.
was 84.
And Japan hasn't won since.
No. It's a very good point, because also the first Uber Cup and Thomas Cup that Korea played was 84. So since both China and Korea have been in the international governing body, Japan have not won the Uber Cup. But is that about to change?
Chances are.
Shall I put you out of your misery on your quiz question?
Yes, please do so.
Yes, it was Judy Devlin who became Judy Hashman, and her sister Susan Devlin.
From United States.
Yep, and they won the Uber Cup in 1957 and again in 1960, the two of them.
Yeah. That was before our time.
Great rally. Oh, there's just nothing left in the legs of Jindapon. She's sitting on the court, she's not getting up. The mind is willing, but the body is a little tired. Yeah.
Thank you. Back on top.
No, she's, as we're looking at that again, she's applying some spray to her knee.
Jindapon, come here. Jindapon, come here. Play must be continued. Don't delay. Okay? Play. 5-3.
Oh, I think the umpire was quite right. Either she should have called for a medical timeout, or should have been back on court a little quicker. I know that seems harsh given her match yesterday, but that is the rule of the sport.
Yeah, she's indicating that she has to get in early on that one and maybe play these tight net shots from a situation like that rather than lift it to the back line. And I agree with her. That comes back to what we discussed earlier. Look at that one there. She wants to play that one, and she should have played it. She's got to go for broke.
Missed it.
Yeah, but I think it's the right shot to take.
Yeah, because she's obviously tired. We can see that the legs are
jaded.
Yeah. There is no point in just playing rallies. You've got to go for it. You've got to go for the winner.
Yes.
I'm getting the sense this is the beginning of the end as far as Thailand's hopes are concerned.
Yeah, you have a very, very strong-looking Okuhara standing there just waiting, haven't really been stretched the whole week. And since her injury, she has really recovered well. I've not seen her play as fast as this in this tournament since maybe, when she won the World Championship in August last year.
Yeah. What is Okuhara's movement? That's going wide. In the next rally, she's still bouncing on tiptoes.
Yes.
You know, she's just sort of gliding, and you know, the movement still looks as if she's got hours of running left in her.
But I think she has.
Yeah.
Jindapon, take play.
think it's interesting. First time I saw her was in, I think, 2014 Hong Kong Open in the final, where you and we were commentating on it, and that was the first time I saw her play in real life. And I just remember I said, we're going to see a lot of her in the future.
Yeah.
I don't think she won it, that final, but she showed so much promise. So this is, again, I can't stress it enough, this is how I think Jindapol should play.
Yeah.
Go for these smashes.
Oh, yes. We saw a reverse slice push from the net in the opening game. That time it was an ordinary slice, creating the disguise. Watch the racket as she comes forward. Look at that. Just turns it very, very quickly.
Yeah, very short action.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel sorry for the Thai team, to be honest, because I think the emotion of their win yesterday and the physicality of their win yesterday, I think they're just a spent force today.
Yeah, I must say I had the feeling before we went into this match, because it was epic yesterday.
Yeah. But that's why I think it was so important, the first match, the first women's singles for Ratchanok to win, which of course she didn't. So it's a 6-point advantage here in the second game for Okuhara. Choi Sang-bum, the Japanese coach, along with Park Ju-bong. There he is on the right as we look at them.
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
That's well left.
13-5.
Yeah, chances are that this match is over in the next 5-6 minutes. The way Okuhara comes out to the second half of this second game, she looks so strong.
Yes, I'm getting that same sense of inevitability. Yeah, but defiance there from Jindapon. Didn't miss by much. Just long.
But you have to admire Thailand, I think, the way that they are doing the build-up of all the young players as well.
Yeah.
I know not a lot of the young players have made it into this team this time, but they have already got the next team on the way in 2 years and in 4 years and in 6 years' time.
Yeah.
If you look at the Youth Olympic Games as well, the two top qualifiers in men's singles and women's singles, or boys and girls singles, whatever you want to call it, are from Thailand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, another 14 of those.
Yeah. Only. Yeah.
Exquisite. Wonderful shot.
Back to my point before, I did the statistics on the Thailand Thomas Cup team, and the average age is 22.7.
Yeah, well, that just emphasises your point, doesn't it?
It does, and they have lots of youngsters coming up behind these two teams as well.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, how did she play that round ahead?
It was a meow, Dina.
Yeah.
Can you remember that one?
I do indeed. I winced every time I watched her play that rather than play the backhand. 4 points required to once again lift the Uber Cup trophy. Oh, that's way in. Goodness me, what on earth was she thinking? Two tantalising points. Well, the umpire just giving Okuhara a warning. They're 2 points away from the title.
It's out.
It is championship points. The 37-year wait is over. Japan win here today and therefore win a 6th Uber Cup Women's World Team Championship title. The team celebrates as the two players concerned in that third match thank the court officials. It has been a long, long wait, but that's what makes it even more special. Well, they were beaten in the final 4 years ago, Japan, but for a 6th time, they will lift the magnificent Uber Cup trophy. Won first by Japan in 1966 when the event was staged in Wellington in New Zealand. then 3 years later on home soil in Tokyo, and again in Tokyo in 1972. They won in 78 and then 1981. And now here in Bangkok in 2018, Japan once again win the Yuba Cup. Morten, it was a terrific all-round performance as we look at the final rally. But throughout the competition, I'm not just talking about today, it's been a great campaign by the Japanese squad.
They have been solid all the way. They have really done well. Been watching their group matches, quarter-final, semi-final of yesterday, and they have just been solid all the way through. Yes. They came into this campaign as top seed, and I have firmly believed that Japan would win it months ago. Yeah. I really, really believe they would do it.
Yeah, well, when you've got Olympic champions at second women's doubles and you've got a world champion at second women's singles, it is a real indication of the strength of the team. Well, we have to spare a thought for Thailand, because obviously the disappointment for them here today. But I don't think anybody who witnessed their semi-final victory over China yesterday, I don't think anybody will forget it.
Now, as I tried also to say earlier, you know, you have to take the hat off for Thailand. They have done so well.
Yes, they certainly have, but they were most definitely beaten by the better team today. It all started with two former world number ones, Akane Yamaguchi beating the 2013 world champion Ratchanok Intanon. Then the current world number twos in the women's doubles, Fukushima and Hirota. Well, the Thai pair, the scratch pairing of Kitihara-kun and Supajira-kun. Well, they had a very good start. They were up in the first game, but it wasn't enough. And of course, Nozomi OKUHARA getting the winning point. But this, the first match on court, well, the whole of the Thailand fans had such high hopes for Ratchanok Intanon. But Akane Yamaguchi is so fast. And as Morten was saying during the match, she suddenly upped the tempo. There was a lot of attacking play, especially the body smashes. And her attacking play really gave Ratchanok no opportunity to use her skills overhead. We talk endlessly about her wonderful disguise and dissection overhead. If you're not given the opportunity to use it, and so often she wasn't, because there was winning shots, downward shots from Yamaguchi. Well, it was a hard-fought match, 21-15, 21-19. And it was always a match that Morten and I felt that Thailand had to win to give the host nation any real chance of lifting the Yuba Cup here today. But the winning moments for Yamaguchi. And then it was the turn of the number two pair in the world, Fukushima and Hirota, against this scratch pairing of Kitihara-kun and Supajira-kun. Well, it was 46 minutes, as was the first match in this final tie. And in fact, the scratch pairing from Thailand started so well, because they were 11-6 up at the mid-game interval. And Morten had surmised that the split of the pairing was so that they could have two attacking players in the first women's doubles, and I strongly suspect he was spot on with that, because the two more attacking players from Thailand paired together started off so well, and it was good attacking play. But after that mid-game interval, Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirota just came out firing on all cylinders. They were attack, attack and more attack, and it took outstanding shots like that from Super Jirakun to keep the Thais in with the belief and the hope that they could actually come back and win. But I have to say, the Japanese pair in the second game were dominant. So the score in the end in that first women's doubles was 21-12, 21-18, 21-12. So delight for the Japanese pair to put Japan 2-love up in the tie. So then it was the third match, and it was a match that Jindapon, of course, had to win. She had been the heroine in the semi-final against China, because it was at second women's singles in the semi-final yesterday where she beat Gao Fangji that really made Thailand believe they could win. But it was the fact that she had been on court for an hour and 31 minutes yesterday afternoon that made it a tall order against the reigning world champion, Nozomi OKUHARA. OKUHARA, who's so fast around the court. Very light footwork, but tactically so astute as well. She gets so much back. I think you have to be at 100% fitness to beat Okuhara, and quite clearly Nitchaon Jindapon was not at 100% fitness here today, given her previous matches throughout the campaign. But she tried and tried, and she refused to give up, hunting down the shuttles, desperately trying to get everything back, while Okuhara still looked fresh and raced to an 11-5 lead in the second game, having already won the first. And after that mid-game interval, it really did seem that there was a real inevitability about the outcome. The moment of victory, the third match within the tie, and for Japan, the celebrations could begin. So that is what they have played for, the magnificent Uber Cup trophy presented by Betty Uber, a former English badminton player who won 13 All England titles, incidentally, one of them in the women's singles. That was in 1935. Won 4 All England titles in the women's doubles and 8 in the mixed doubles. And let's not forget that in that era, players were able to play more than one sport, and she also competed at Wimbledon in tennis. Actually reached the 4th round at Wimbledon as well. So a wonderful athlete, Betty Uber. The trophy is 20 inches high, or if you prefer centimetres, 50 centimetres. And it really is a magnificent trophy, because on top of the plinths, as I'm sure we will see again, there we are, there's the globe, and on top of the globe is a shuttle, and on top of the shuttle, a female badminton player, made by a very famous silversmith in London, Mappin and Webb, and it is one of the most beautiful trophies, in my opinion, in the world of sport. But to badminton players the world over, and women's badminton, it is the most prestigious trophy that can be won in team competition. And it is a trophy now that has been won by Japan for a 6th time. Now, while we wait for the prize presentation, Morten, I want to ask you about outstanding performances here this week. I have to say that I think that probably Canada getting through to the quarter-final for the first time since we've had the group stage, followed by the knockout draw. They came second in their group. They were drawn against Korea in the quarter-final stage, and they only lost that 3-1. But I thought in that quarter-final, all three Canadian women's singles players, of course Michelle Lee, one beat Sung Ji-hyun, but the other two went to 3 games, and to me that was one of the performances of this tournament.
I agree with you. I actually also have Michelle Lee on top of my list when we look at the Uber Cup. The fact that she beat Simon Abel against India and then Sung Ji-hyun against Korea is really, I wouldn't say an upset, but it's showing very, very strong badminton from the Canadian, and we know she can do it now and again, but having done this twice in this tournament is really something.
Yeah.
On top of that, I have Baek Ha-na and Lee Yu-rim. They are the World Junior Champions in women's doubles. They're 17 and 18 years old. They played the Olympic champions of Takahashi and Matsutomo yesterday, and they took them to 3 games, and they took them all the way. It was a fantastic match of these two youngsters. And the last one I have is the Dane, actually, Mia Blichfeldt, beating Chen Yufei in 3 games against China, which I also think is a remarkable achievement.
Yeah. Well, I think we also have to talk about China and where does China go from here, because they will see not reaching the final for an 18th consecutive time as a bit of a catastrophe. Do they start with new, younger players? Well, I think we're just about ready for the prize presentation and the emergence here of China onto some centre stage for their bronze medals. If you can quickly answer my question, Morten, on that, it probably needs a lot longer, but where do they go from here? It is a disappointment from their perspective.
Of course it is. They obviously come here to win, but I would still say that women's singles is so competitive these days, and so many nations can win, and China used to have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the women's singles. They don't have that anymore. They have become so-called normal in the women's singles, and that is adding on a lot of pressure on the women's doubles, and they have to look at new combinations in the women's doubles as well.
Yeah. So now the other bronze medalists. South Korea invited to come down to the podium. And there I can see, nearest to us, is at least one of the players you were mentioning. There they are, the World Junior Champions in the girls' doubles. So the medals to be presented by Geraldine Brown, BWF Vice President from Oceania. Chinese coaches getting their medals first. Han Lee, the doubles coach there. Zhang Ning, 2-time Olympic champion. To the reigning world champion, Jia Yifei. Tang Jinghua, Wang Dongping, former Olympic champion Li Shuirui, who played at 3rd singles, Wang Yaxiong, who's concentrating mainly nowadays on mixed doubles, Chen Yu, Herbing Jiao, who was obviously injured, had been playing at 2nd women's singles. Chen Qingcheng, reigning world champion in the women's doubles. So each team will also be presented with scarves and a mascot as well, as is the tradition. And Morton, as Chen Wu-fei gets her scarf. There's been a big responsibility on her playing at first women's singles, I think, throughout the campaign.
There has, and I think she hasn't done it that well. She's been very nervous. It's like with young players, we usually say when you play up, when you have no expectations on your performance, then she's playing extremely well. When there is a lot of expectations on you, then you've got to go in there and win and you know, play as world number 4 or 5. Then suddenly she's choking a bit, and that's what she did against Denmark and in a few other matches as well.
Yes, well, I'm not sure she choked against Ratchanok, but I mean that was the one that was so important. But I mean, we're not certainly not heaping responsibility for China not getting through to the final
based on her performance.
Definitely not.
No.
But it is a relatively young team. I mean, Tang Jinhua there, I think she's probably one of the oldest players in the team, if she's not the oldest.
Yeah, but I still feel that, especially in the singles, they have many young players, but they don't have the same outstanding talent as what they used to have when they had world number 1, 2, 3 and 4 in the women's singles, let's say 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah, and I don't think it was even as long ago as that. Wang Yihan, Wang Shexian, Wang Xin.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they had the whole string of singles players, and they still have it, but not at that level at the moment.
Yeah.
And maybe in 2 or 3 years' time they will be back on top, who knows?
Yeah, because Zhang Ning is back coaching the women's singles players. It used to be Chen Jin, and I wonder if Zhang Ning will make a big difference in resurrecting the dominance of China in the women's singles. I think that's going to be a tall order, because I think there's so many different nations who have now wonderful systems to bring on their players. So to Korea. Sung Ji-hyung just receiving her medal there. Kim So-young. And all the doubles players, I think, doing so well throughout their campaign. Kong.
And here we got
and the young ones.
Yeah, Bekhana. And this Lee Rim. That's Bekhana is 17 only, and her partner is 18 years of age.
Next, I would like to invite Mr. Vice President of Badminton Association Thailand,
But I must say, it's a fantastic achievement by this team when you consider that 3 of their 4 women's doubles players who played at the Olympics in 2016 did not take part in this event.
No.
And especially Lee So-hee.
Lee So-hee is injured, normally plays with Shin Sun-chan, but also missing Jang Ye-na, Jung Kyung-eun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And still the team did so well to get to this semi-final, get the bronze. And again, if you look at the average age of this team, I wouldn't even dare to calculate it.
No, young.
It's very, very young.
Yeah.
And every time I'm watching Korean team, when I watch Korea play team matches, I'm just at awe. The way they fight and the way they play and how they can interact, and in the doubles suddenly they can play combinations you've never seen before, how they can combine in all sorts of ways, and you can never, ever, ever underestimate Korea when it comes to this.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think one of the biggest examples of this was the Tournament Cup last year in 2017.
Fabulous.
Winning women's singles, women's doubles and mixed doubles against China.
Yeah. Well, it's another bronze medal for Korea. The 2010 champions, of course. Well, listen to the roar for Thailand. They all played their part. They worked as a team. They fought as a team. And they went where they've never been before, to a final of the Uber Cup. Chair of Events Committee. Well, prior to the tournament beginning, I think Thailand probably would have, if you'd offered them a bronze medal, they probably would have taken it. This is exceeded expectations.
Yes. Yeah, they would have taken it, but they came in as seeded number 4 in this tournament.
Busanan Ongbangrongpan just receiving her medal, and both in the quarter-final and the semi-final, it all came down to her match. She dealt with the pressure and she delivered. Jindapon, who had nothing left in the legs today. Sapsuri Terattanachai. Former world champion Ratchanuk Intanon. A proud moments for Thailand. Just going back to your point, as the scarves and the mascots are to be presented of China's dominance you were talking about 10 years ago. I'm getting 10 years ago, we probably couldn't see beyond anybody else other than China winning the Uber Cup. This is wonderful for our sport.
For the sport, yes.
For other nations have come through. We've talked in women's singles how there's so many different nations now. Thailand, Chinese Taipei, Spain, Japan, Rexy Manaki, they're absolutely delighted, the head coach now for Thailand. And in team situations, so often we have an outstanding player from a country like Carolina Marin from Spain, but there isn't depth in the country. Now in the Uber Cup competition, we have many nations that can challenge for the Uber Cup, and as Thailand has proved here today, that is a wonderful thing for the sport. It's no longer foregone conclusions.
I couldn't agree with you more, and it's also so good when we go into these open events and you look at the quarterfinals, who is in the quarterfinals, and so often you see it's 8 different nations.
Yes.
And that just is so good for the sport. It's never good when someone is completely dominant.
No.
And I'm sure that China, of course, wants to get back to where they were, and a lot of nations are trying for that not to happen. So you know, that's just the name of the game. That's the sport.
Yeah. Well, I remember a few years ago the International Olympic Committee were a little critical that the 3 players on the podium at the Olympic Games in the women's singles were all from one nation. In Rio, across all 5 disciplines, the 3 flags that went up at the medal ceremony were 3 different flags. So we are a sport that has many different nations involved, and now in team competitions we've got many nations involved, and I hope that message goes back to the IOC.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the moment now for the arrival of the 2018 Total BWF Uber Cup champions.
Total BWF World Cup 2018. Let's give a big applause for Japan!
For a 6th time in the Uber Cup history, Japan will lift the magnificent trophy. The wave to the fans. They came as favourites, and with that brings pressures. But they dealt with the pressures and have delivered in fine style. A 6th time in the 61-year history of the Uber Cup. Japan step onto the top of the podium. Proud moment for the team manager and for Park Ju-bong, who Morten was saying earlier in the day had made such a difference in Japan. Of course, for the coaching staff, their work is not done yet, because Japan are in the Thomas Cup final tomorrow.
Yeah, that happened 4 years ago as well, in 2014. So at that time, the boys, the Thomas Cup, they won sensationally in 2014. So yes, he's done a good job, definitely, but I am sure he's got a lot of good people backing him. He's got a lot of good coaches there to help him as well to get it all organised.
So now that the coaches have received their medals, it's now time for the players. First to get her medal was Ayaka Takahashi. Sayaka Sato, and now Olympic champion Zaki Matsutomo. Sayaka Takahashi, who was down to play the 5th match, had it have gone the full distance here today in the final. Tanaka. Fukushima. Sayaka Hirota. Nozomi Okuhara. And finally, the former world #1, Akane Yamaguchi. Scarves and the mascots. So for Japan, well, I know many more young players. You were talking about that, Morten, with the Thailand team, many youngsters coming up. Same scenario with Japan.
Yeah, they're getting very strong in the junior badminton as well, and you see a lot of good players are coming through, and it's wonderful to see how these systems are working, and they're bringing up new players all the time. And I firmly believe that the players coming up are completely and 100% backed by the system, and you know, they're sent around the world, and it's all about, you know, KPIs. You must win this and you must win that. It doesn't exist. You know, you go in there and you play and you try to improve and you get it better. You enjoy your badminton, and you know, when you then break into the senior ranks, you are full of self-confidence.
Yeah. And I think the fact that there's now so many tournaments around the world, we have the new World Tour. Isn't it a magnificent trophy there? The female badminton player on the shuttle, which sits above the globe. There's so many tournaments now where the players can learn their trade and get the international experience. It really is a sport that has developed so much. So we're very nearly ready for the presentation of the Uber Cup. Erik Høyer Larsen, president of the BWF, the Badminton World Federation, presents the trophy to Ayaka Takahashi, the team captain. Japan, champions once more. After 37 years of trying since they last won the title prior to this in 1981. So for the national anthem of Japan.
We'll lead by the drum parade before the saluting the flag.
ขอเรียนเชิญพระเอกเชิญธงค่ะ
Japan, the Yuba Cup champions, and they won the trophy in style. What a spectacular climax to this wonderful Yuba Cup competition. It's been a very good tournament. It's been beautifully presented. And as the dignitaries come forwards to pose along with the teams for the photographers. Well, they came as favourites and they leave as champions. Well, it really has been a fabulous competition. It has produced surprises, it's produced drama, it's produced the most wonderful badminton, the display of skill of the players, the determination and the desire. And I think, Morten, it's the desire to win this competition that really sticks with me.
It's just such a great tradition, isn't it? Going back to for the Thomas Cup 1949, I think, and then for the Uber Cup 56. And you know, you just have it's just been going on for years and years and years.
Yes, so as they pose for the photographers, a chance for me to remind you that we're going to do it all again tomorrow for the Thomas Cup final. It will be the same time as the Uber Cup final was today. That's 1 o'clock local time. That's 0600 GMT. And of course, the Thomas Cup final tomorrow is China against Japan. We are thoroughly looking forward to that. But in the meantime, until tomorrow and the Thomas Cup final, from Morten Frost and myself, Jill Clark, bye for now.